Hello again, Cindy Anderson Blank here of Monarch Eventing. I'm a 4-star rider based in Virginia, and this is the third vlog for TGS All Is Well Mr. Perry. Perry is in the 5-year-old class for the 2025 U.S. Event Horse Futurity. Perry is owned by Greer Kelly of Three Diamonds Farm in Virginia and was bred by Ann Shira O'Donnell of Top Gun Stables in Texas. I had the pleasure of meeting Ann a few weeks ago and enjoyed hearing some lovely stories about Perry as a youngster. Breeders have such insight about their horses, having watched them from day one, and it can be very beneficial in understanding them. Perry has been working away since our last update and had several more outings to competitions, as well as clinics and schooling trips. It was clear to us mid-season that Perry needed more time to mature and develop before he would be ready to be competitive in the YEH competitions. However, we still wanted to support the programs for the young horses, so we started getting him exposure with an outing to Twilight eventing at Lochmoy. Twilight always provides a laid-back, productive atmosphere, as well as an opportunity for the horses to experience all 3 phases of the eventing game. For a big horse, Perry is quite at home in the dressage ring and did splendidly his first time riding a test. Although there was a small bit of drama due to me forgetting a very important piece of tech, we did make it to the show jumping, where Perry finished very confidently. The cross-country setup at Twilight is perfect, as you can start with small fences and increase the size or the difficulty of the fence as you go, and Perry was really understanding the game by the end of the course. Weredaka's USEA Young Event Horse competition was the next outing, where Perry was splendid in the dressage and warmed up beautifully for the jumping phase. Although the 5-year-old jumping course was a bit too advanced for where we were at in our training, the judges let us self-eliminate, so to speak, by just jumping anything on the course that was appropriate for him, so it was still a productive outing. Gaining experience without overfacing the horse is important, but also a tricky line to define at times. Sometimes it is hard to know where you're at until you go out and give it a go. This was also the plan when we attended the Bred to Event competition at Lochmoy. It is a great program for the future of the sport, and although Perry wasn't quite ready for the Derby course that the 5-year-old division needed to do for qualification purposes, the judges allowed us to amend the course to suit the horse to gain experience instead of a placing. The dressage portion of the Bred to Event competition is structured as a material class instead of riding a test. This is a great way to get constructive input from the judges on the quality of the horse's gait, as well as an opinion on the potential of the horse moving up the levels. Having the opportunity to take Perry to these competitions gave us a lot of information on what to focus on in our training at home. Perry was very well behaved at all of the outings and wasn't anxious or nervous about doing his job, but he lacked a bit of confidence in how to use his keen athleticism in a balance that gave him confidence at the bigger fences. As I mentioned in the earlier vlogs, the big rangy horses often take longer to figure out their bodies and build strength than the small cat-like models do. So after a few days of well-earned time off, we kept at it and back at home with some gymnastics and hacking on the hills to build Perry's strength and coordination. Bounces are great for this, and just practicing through a long line of bounces each direction a few times can give them plenty of mental and physical work. Living in the area of Virginia that we do, we are incredibly fortunate to have great schooling shows and cross-country venues to practice at. Getting Perry out to Megan O'Donoghue's beautiful enduring farm for a few show jump rounds and a short cross-country school was a perfect opportunity to see some new jumps in a relaxed setting and play around the cross country. Another benefit to the area that we live in is the wealth of knowledge around and access to great trainers and clinicians. I enjoy taking lessons whenever I can and never turn down the opportunity to get another professional's input into developing the young horses. We had the chance to get some very helpful show jump advice from Andrew Heffernan, as well as getting to attend a 2-day clinic with Lucinda Green. Perry excels at the terrain questions on cross country and easily works up and down the banks and over the ditches. His enthusiasm often results in a squeal and porpoising leap. But as Lucinda commented, he's showing us quite a classy side, this horse, when he does this. Throughout the summer and fall, all of the input from the trusted and revered professionals and colleagues that we went and got to ride with, everyone's opinion keeps circling back to, wow, this is a really lovely horse with an amazing brain and such potential. Although it can be tempting to push the horses a bit as we put goals for them on paper, I am so glad that Perry has been allowed to come along at his pace and we were still able to participate in the programs we wanted to support. As we head into the late fall and winter, I am excited to have a confident young horse with plenty of homework to work on and a clear direction to continue with his training. None of this could happen without the support of the literal army, and I would like to thank everyone for following the 2025 U.S. Event Horse Futurity and Perry and I, and supporting us in the fan vote for a second place finish. The support means a lot to us as individuals, as well as the sport as a whole. Please reach out and continue following Perry and I as we continue our journey for the seasons to come. Perry and I's partnership is going to be able to continue thanks to the generous sponsorship and support from TruTex Footing throughout the Futurity and their continued commitment to the future of this horse. We also couldn't do it without our suppliers' support at Buckeye Nutrition and Tri-County Feeds. It is such a privilege to get to do what we do with these animals and this sport, and I am grateful to the Futurity for spotlighting these amazing journeys. I hope it opens new doors for great U.S. breeders like Anne to keep breeding and great owners like Greer to keep owning. Until next time, Perry and I wish everyone a relaxing holiday season, and we'll be anxiously awaiting the spring season.